So gardeners, this is why I'm careful about everybody I embrace or pay attention or the information that I receive from people. It's like when I realized where our society was headed, I knew that one of the best places to get information about survival would be the very people who are putting us in a position where we need that information. So I looked up preppers. You'll notice that there are very few Black preppers, although we are the ones who need to be prepared. But it was always so hard because they're all racist. So you go to learn the information, absorb the information, because I tie people's character to everything, because it's who they are is who they are, no matter what they can't do or what they do and don't have, right? So I'm not that person that says, "Oh yeah, I just listen, I just support Kanye because he's the greatest producer ever." I'm not that person. I'm not the person that say, "Oh, I support R. Kelly because his music though." I'm not that person. Even in the 80s, I was like, fuck him. And even when I was coming up in the 90s and they played his music as stepper sets, I would never dance off that song. But I actually declined a lot of dances for a lot of reasons. But if someone who I would have otherwise said yes to asked me to dance and they were playing R. Kelly, it was a nope. If I went to dance with someone and was having a good time and we danced several dances in a row and an R. Kelly song came on, it's a nope. Our stint is over. Okay. And I didn't explain to anybody because I didn't want to influence anyone's uh, preference to continue to support him. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't never say, "Oh, I don't dance off R. Kelly music because this and this." I didn't go through all that. They grown. They heard the same thing I heard. They've seen the same things I've seen. They're making a different choice than I'm making. It's that simple. So, yeah, so it makes me, so I'm always cautious of who I give credit for being a person with integrity. I don't just offer that up on a platter in the name of giving the benefit for the doubt. I give you what you show me you deserve. Period. Anyway, having said that, of course the gardening community is heavily saturated with racists. And so much like with prepping and with firearm responsibility and things like that, when I do find a Black one, it's most often a matter of time before they show me their ass. So even if it's just a person that has general a Black person, because they have not Black content, but the person with their general content, if I see that they gravitate toward catering to colonizers one way or another, I'll dip out. I'm done. I'm over. I'm not even mad at them. It's just not this. It's just not this safe space for. I don't perceive it to be a safe space for Black people, and I'm Black, so it's not complicated. I'm out. Period. So there have been a couple of Black gardeners that I learned that to be the case. And some people are just keeping their options open. Opportunist problems, but it's whatever. Everybody's doing the best they can to survive the best way they can and the easiest, the with the least effort. So I don't blame them for that, but I need to pay attention to it for me, to protect me, right? And people that I love, and people that look like me who don't have that said protection. Anyway, I said all that to say, y'all know me, especially when. So, one of the Black farmers had a video up, and he was saying that he had some Meyer lemon tree and something else he had, And I don't know if he knew because a couple of I've had experience with Meyer lemon trees. I went Meyer lemon crazy for 2 years, and Mister enabled that bullshit, bought me 2 trees. He was saying how he had some Meyer lemon starts and then some other kind of tree that was starting from a cutting. And so I was very careful because this is a new gardener I had just started watching. And you don't know how receptive people are to truth, no matter how you present it. Everyone has been conditioned such that hearing the truth is not a good thing in this society. So I said, let me see if I can just make this one sentence, because when I care about somebody, y'all know I can be long-winded. But they can fix that. They can come and double down on their bullshit, and I'll cut all that shit out. I'll be like, oh, okay, okay. So anyway, he said he had some Meyer lemon cuttings and some other kind of fruit tree cuttings. And so I said, how can I share information with this man? And I'm just using the term man. Y'all don't know if it's a man or a woman, but I'm just using the man because it'll be easier when I talk about the man. When I talk about the other dude that showed up to participate in my sentiments. Anyway, so I was like, how can I cram all this in one short sentence without anybody getting offended that I'm sharing information? Okay. Including the person, because the person sometimes feels targeted. Y'all know I don't know how to lie to people, so some people take it like they take it. Everybody ain't grown. There's a lot of adult age people out here and very few grown people in the general population. So I crammed it in one sentence and I said, Meyer lemon trees can't be grown from cuttings. Now I knew there was a possibility that the roots took, and so he would feel like, well, yes, they can, because I'm sitting here doing it, right? Some people just want to snap back on you, and when they do that, I'll be like, okay, cool. Oh, and before I go into this is the deal. The deal is Meyer trees are grafted. If you don't garden and don't know a lot about it, grafting requires two separate varieties of a particular fruit, and you have to embed one of their main stems into the other's main stem when they are very, very young. And there's a particular place you need to you need to cut a hole through the stem and embed the other one through them. See what I mean? See how this, so they will fuse together. That's how you have to graft a plant. And Meyer lemon trees are one of those fruit trees that are grafted. Honeycrisp apple trees. That's the reason why I had to purchase a whole ass tree last time, and I couldn't just plant a seed. But apples don't, I can't even use apples as an example because everyone knows that, not everyone knows. If you didn't, I'm telling you now, apples, and that is common knowledge, that with apple seeds, you can plant an apple seed, but you may not necessarily grow the same variety of apple that you got that seed from. So you can't bank on that. Like if you intended to get a Fuji apple, you can't take a Fuji seed, plant it, and guarantee you're going to get a Fuji apple. So I don't know what Mother Nature was on when she did that, but she did it, and she entitled us hers. She could do what she wanted to. But yeah, Meyer lemon trees are trees that must be grafted. So I was just found the shortest worded way to tell him that, to let him know. I don't want to say tell him, because again, everybody think you want to be right and telling people stuff. No, I'm just sharing information so that you're not misguided about as you go about sustaining your wellness as a fellow Black person. That's all. I got the information through experience, And it's actually something that is not typical to plants. So I'm sharing the information if you're growing the same plant, so you'll know, and you don't have to endure, and you don't have to go through anything that other people go through that don't know. You just want to help a brother. I'm not telling. Why do people think you telling them something good for them for you? Like, I'm not telling you so I can be right. I don't get no party for that. I don't get a trophy for that. I'm telling you so you don't have to endure some bullshit that you could have evaded had you chosen to listen. Anyway, so I said this really is a short story long. This really is a short story long. So I said Meyer lemons can't be grown from cuttings. Bruh. And I don't know why I'm being dramatic right now, because I expected it. I actually knew it could potentially come from the person that the gardener, the black gardener, because I have had black people to come back and be like it wouldn't surprise me if the person would have came back and said, I'm doing it right here. It's right in the video. You see them growing right here. I said my lemon trees can't be propagated from cuttings. Here comes this colonizer to give me a whole paragraph about how you can. And I know why he feels so knowledgeable. Because I went to his page. I was like, let me see what this privileged motherfucker is working with to make them feel. Because I know he got some stuff to make him feel legitimately knowledgeable about this. I said Myers can't be grown from cuttings. And here come Kenneth to say, of course they can. I have an 18-month-old Meyer lemon cutting here that is in full flower. And he got a big smiley face. So I came back and I said, then I'm wrong and you're right, of course. I started not to say, how long did it take me? Hours later. And then I said, then I'm wrong, because I contemplated. Should I let them know how I know that they can't be propagated from cuttings, or should I just let this motherfucker, come through with this misinformation? And should I, it's my style to wait and see if the person, if the vloggers, if the gardener comes through, and how they're going to receive dudes comment to me. I want to see if the poster is going to say anything to dude, because it is also still very possible that he will come in on dude's bandwagon and believe what dude is saying. And if he does, so be it, right? Y'all know I don't give a fuck. I'm not saying it for my betterment. I'm saying it so you don't have to be miseducated. That's all. If you want to be miseducated, I'm okay with that. I'm not even mad at you. But don't be mad at me because I'm not going to be miseducated. It's just not going to happen. We don't need to be mad at each other because we have different truths. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a hoe being a hoe and admitting she's a hoe without using the word hoe. And then when somebody actually calls her the hoe that she admits she is, it's a problem. Well, hoe, what do you want? Like, what do you want outside of fuckboys' attention? What do you want? What do you really want, girl? Think about it. You don't have to answer right now. Give it some thought. Because these little girls out here chasing bags and slinging wop, they don't know what they want. The bag, attention. In this pandemic, they learning real fast and hard. And if I was them, I would be a lot more open to seeking out ancestors and the wisdom that is out there for me to receive, because society is not in your corner. I don't know if you knew that. You might not didn't know. You might didn't know. Like, y'all out here with colonizer spouses. Y'all didn't know. You thought we counted as humans by now. I understand it. I understand why you thought that. I understand why you thought it. Yeah, so this entitled ass colonizer came through and said, of course they can. I have an 18-month Myers lemon cutting here that's in full flower. Big ass smiley face. So I came back hours later and said, then I'm wrong and you're right, of course. I left it right there. Because like I said, I'm mostly waiting to see what the gardener who posted this is going to say. So then he came back and said, as far as I know, every known citrus variety will root from cuttings if you give them the right rooting conditions, but a lot are grafted onto cold hardy or dwarfing rootstocks. So he knows about grafting in reference to dwarfing, building dwarfing characteristics into a tree. But he doesn't know, it sounds like he doesn't know anything in terms of dwarfing for a whole separate variety of a particular fruit. So I go to his page and it turns out that he started 2 years ago and he decided to have a little orchard 2 years ago. So he got to chime in and correct me, and he has 2 years experience gardening it all. And just the privilege of having the funds to decide all in a year's time. You know what? I'm gonna throw a few $1,000s at an orchard, at trying my hand at having an orchard. Let's see how that works out. Black people don't even have that kind of access. Not even considering the money or the property. That 40 acres is MIA, bitch. Like your old white ass got the accessibility and funds and resources to decide that you want to start an orchard in your yard. Anyway, I had to go to his page to see what made him feel so knowledgeable that he could tell me about how this works, right? And I found my answers because 2 years ago, he decided to take a blind dive into gardening. And so now he knows everything because he's white. Yeah, so I just let that last comment hang because mostly I don't care. Oh, he got another comment in the body of the thing. Okay, let me see what kind of relationship they seem to have. They calling each other by first name, so they apparently know each other and have a relationship. So yeah, I won't be saying shit else to this brother about anything else. But I hope that I do hope his lemon comes out, because I would imagine that even though it's not typical, I would imagine that sometimes it comes out the same. No, fuck it. It's different with grafting. Ain't no chance with grafting. I was thinking about in terms of the seed, like with apple seeds. I was like, it seemed like sometimes you would still accidentally come up with the same strain of apple if you planted the seed. I mean, maybe not always, but it seemed like sometimes it would, right? So why wouldn't that be the case with citrus as well, except that we're not talking about seeds, we're talking about cuttings, and we're talking about varieties that need to be grafted to exist as that variety. So, and mine really were Meyer lemons too, because Meyer lemons have a softer shell. Their skin is softer, and they have a slight blush to them. And they are allegedly sweeter than other lemons, but they just taste like other lemons to me. But they do have a girth, like more of a girth of an orange. Like, you know, the lemons you see in the store are oval, but they're a little bit rounder. The skin is thinner, and they're slightly sweeter, but I wouldn't describe them as slightly sweeter because they still are lemons. Don't let them fool you. what they're talking about. How sweet. I seen so many white people eat a Meyer lemon and act like it was the sweetest thing. It's a lemon, believe me. Which, incidentally, after having that experience, I said I just let myself go for the okie doke because they're still lemons. And if we paid more for a Meyer lemon as opposed to any other lemon, why? Why? I could have grown any kind of lemon, apparently, and it'd be fine because it tastes like lemon tastes like lemon. I can imagine if somebody, preferred a thinner skin for some kind of juicing benefit or something. I don't know. But, like, I don't mind the thick skin on a lemon because I use the rind of the lemon to disinfect and clean my garbage disposal. So, I don't mind having a little girth on the rind. Whereas before, it was just got in the way. Before I even dealt with garbage disposals, before they were a thing in my life at all, citrus rinds got on my nerves, right? But now I'm grown ass woman, and I realize you can use citrus rinds for seasoning in your food. You can use them to disinfect your garbage disposal. You can use them in your citrus stew during the 2020 pandemic that you're gonna be up against in future decades. So it's the usefulness of a lot of foods that has been hidden from us. So there's a lot of usefulness in our foods slash medicine that has been hidden from us.